So once again, good morning class. So this time, actually this topic is for the next subject. So the advanced system implementation, design and implementation. So to discuss the debugging strategies and tools, please welcome Sir Melvin. Go ahead, Sir Melvin.
Good morning po sa lahat. My topic is all about debugging strategies and tools. So let's first define what is debugging. Debugging is a methodological process of finding and reducing the number of bugs or defects in a program. So sa atin po kasi sa mga program tsaka sa mga apps, hindi po natin maiiwasan na maka-encounter ng mga bugs or viruses. So next, we have the general concept about debugging. So we have four. The first one is localizing a bug. Next, we have to classify the bug. Number 3, we have to understand a bug. And the last one, we have to repair the bug. So in other references, what is debugging? So in debugging, we have to identify the error, analyze the error, identify the error location, prove the analysis, and cover the lateral damage. So in this part, we are going to use some debugging tools. So when we define a debugging tool, it's a computer program used to test and debug other programs. So in a lot of public domain or websites like GDB and DBX, it is always available for debugging. They also offer console-based command for command line interfaces. So examples of this automatic or automated debugging tools are the following: code-based tracers, profilers, and interpreters. So in localizing a bug, it is a typical attitude of inexperienced programmers towards a bug to consider their localization an easy task. They notice their code that does not what they expect, and they are led astray by their confidence in knowing what their code should do. So in this confidence is completely deceptive because of spotting a bug can be more difficult. So in our operating system, the usual mistake is that kapag mabagal si laptop or si desktop, lagi ang inisip natin ay merong virus or we have the bug. But sometimes we do not consider the hardware, possible na mababa ang ating memory o kaya naman hindi compatible si operating system kay unit. Next, classifying a bug. Despite of the appearance, bugs have often a common background. This allows to attempt a quick course but sometimes useful classification, and this is arranged in order of increasing difficulty, which fortunately means in order of decreasing frequency. Next, we have two types of errors. So we have the syntactical errors. So in syntactical errors or syntax should be easily caught by the compiler. I say should because compilers, beside from very complicated, can be buggy themselves. In case of a vital to remember, quite often the problem might be to be an exact position indicated by a compiler error message. So sa iba nating mga nakagis ng programming languages like Visual Basic 6.0 and Turbo C, pag niraran natin si si program at may error, siya yung laging nag-a-appear si syntax error. Next, we have build errors. Build errors derive from linking object of files were not rebuilt after a change in some source files. These problems can be easily avoided by using tools to drive software building like GNU Make. So in other samples, ang mas simplest sample of build errors are the HTML. Pag halimbawa po gumagamit tayo ng ahref, tapos ang ating ililink na source is docx, pero ang nakadeclare sa ating command ay .doc lang, hindi po siya nagbubukas. So in GNU, since it is an extensive collection of free software and also can be used in operating system and other parts of operating system. So next slide po. Kaya po sa ating mga package na mga programming languages, lagi pong kasama si debugger, si debugging tools, tsaka si mga compiler. Kadalasan po ay siya na po yung nag-indicate kung ano yung mga nawawala. Ang gagawin na lang po ni programmer is to correct and analyze. Next, we have basic semantic errors. So in basic semantic errors, it comprises using an initialized variables, dead code, and problem with variable types. A compiler can highlight them to your attention, although it is usually to be explicitly asked for or through flags. So next, we have the semantic errors. In semantic errors, including the wrong variables or operators. So example are the double end in C++. No tool can catch these problems because they are syntactically correct statements. Although logically wrong, a test case or a debugger is necessary to spot them. So in simpler example of semantic errors, kadalasan nagkakamali si user, lalo't beginner, nakakala ay si operator pagdating kay Excel ay letter X, but it should be asterisk for multiplication. Next, we have to understand a bug. A bug should fully understood before attempting to fix it. Trying to fix a bug before understanding is completely could not end in provoking even more damage to the code. Since the problem could change form and manifest itself somewhere else, maybe randomly. If you would recall the virus, your computer is being attacked, yung nag-aano sa ating desktop sa screen, ang akala nila usually kapag ganon, pag ni-restart si PC or si unit ay mawawala. But eventually, we have to understand and locate the source of the virus or bug. So next, in repairing a bug, the final step in debugging process is bug fixing. Repairing a bug is more than modifying code. Any fixes must be documented in the code and test properly. More important, learning from mistakes and effective attitude. It is good practice in filling a small file with detailed explanations about the way the bug was discovered and corrected. Checklist can be a useful aid. In some instances, aside from checklist, kadalasan ang pinaprovide ay aside from user's manual or is the developer's code. So we have the general debugging techniques. So one, exploiting compiler features. So in exploiting compiler features, a good compiler can do some static analysis on the code. When we say static code analysis, it is the analysis of the software that can be performed without actually executing the programs built from the software. Static analysis can help detecting a number of basic semantic problems such as type mismatch or dead code. So next we have having a look at the user manual of the compiler employed, where all the features should be documented, is highly recommended. For GCC, the standard compiler on the GNU Linux system are the number of options that affect what static analysis can be performed. They usually divided into two classes. The first one is the warning options. The next one is the optimization flags. So next, reading the right documentation. So this seems quite an obvious tip since it is often unexperienced programmers read the wrong papers looking for hints and about the task they accomplished. The relevant documentations for the tasks and the tools are the libraries, the algorithms employed. So kadalasan po naman dito ang naging problem with regards to the program and the database are the database. Maaari pong pag in-install si program kay unit, hindi available yung compatible na software. Kaya ang ginagawa nung iba, once na si program in-install kay unit, may laging may naka-abang or may naka-reading installers. So as far as documentation is concerned, the most important distinction is between tutorials and references. Since tutorial is a pedagogical paper, usually with plenty of examples, when we say pedagogical, it is the method and practice, especially in theoretical concepts. So it does not assume any previous knowledge about the topic, and it aims first to convey the ideas about the subject. So in reference manual, it is a more comprehensive and exhaustive description which allows to find answers to the questions through indexes and cross-references. So next, we have the abuse code debugging technique. So the code technique takes the name from the C++ statements for printing on the standard output stream. It is usually called the terminal screen. It consists of adding print statements in the code to track the control flow and data values during the code execution. Although it is the favorite technique of all the beginners or the newbies, it is unbelievable how many experienced programmers still refuse to evolve and abandon this absolutely time-wasting and very ad hoc method. If you would recall the ad hoc sa ating device na PlayStation Portable or PSP, when we say ad hoc, it is a program which people can download that allows the users to play or to connect over the internet. At kadalasan po ang tawag po sa kanya is ad hoc party. So next, logging. Logging takes the concept of printing messages expressed in previous paragraphs. And one step further. So logging is common aid to debugging. Everyone who tried at least once to solve the system-related problems, so such as machine startup. And they know how useful the log file can be. So logging means automatically recording information, messages, or events in the order to monitor the status of your program. To diagnose problems, it is heavily used to daemons and services to exactly because their failure can affect the correct operations of the whole system. And lastly, sa logging is a real solution to code technique. It can form the basis software such as auditing that can be used as evaluation of the product for its reliability. So in defensive program and assertions are expressions which evaluate to be true at a specific point in the code. If assertion fails, a problem was found. The problem could be possible in assertion, but more likely, it will be in the code or the program. The important point to remember about assertion is what it makes no sense to execute a program after an assertion fails. In writing assertions in the code, makes assumption explicit. If we could recall the programming in Visual Basic, kapag nag-error po ang ating program, napapansin po natin na nagpo-pause si program, yung nasa gitna po ni play tsaka ni stop. Ang common error ni programmer, nagtatype, pero hindi niya alam na hindi siya pwedeng mag-type or mag-edit since siya ay ang program ay pause lang. So in C or C++, the header file assert must be included and the expression you want to assert must be written as macro argument. So for example, the assert is the variable is greater than 0. So the program will be aborted when an assertion fails. The failure reported by the message stating the exact line of code and the exact file of the assertion. So in ACI debugging technique, so in this paragraph, commonly it is understood as a joke. On the contrary, ACI is the acronym for Automobile Club d'Italia. So an Italian organization that helps with car troubles. If a car gets stuck while driving in a motorway, all the driver has to do is to call the ACI for a helpful mechanic and quickly come to drag out of the troubles. So in sa ating pong ACI debugging technique, when a programming is in big troubles, it does not really see a way out. So kadalasan din po, ang ating golden rule kay ACI, the best way to learn something is to teach it. Or sa iba naman po, ang ginagawa nila ay they learn from experience. So this is a very simple principle in the ACI technique since ACI debugging helps the programmer to find the bystander and explain him how the code works or kung saan din may mali sa code. So it is called mechanic because it repairs and identifies the problem in the program. So in this technique, peer review and test cases may apply. So in our next slide po, in our in our Windows, pag nag-i-install tayo, lagi meron siyang option na debugging tools for Windows. Kumbaga, since ang software suite natin is a collection of softwares that work together, debugging tools for Windows, ang ginagawa nito ay aside from identifying the error within the system or the software, it can also detect the problem with our hardware. So kaya po sa ating ibang sa ating laptop, pag medyo na overuse or may katagalan na, mapapansin mo hindi siya nagtutuloy kay Windows, lagi muna siyang nagre-repair or nagde-debug. So kapag ganun po nangyayari sa atin, usually ang naging problem ay yung ating hard drive. So next, in our packages in Windows Software Development Kit for Windows 8.1, present din po si debugging tools for Windows. Tapos, pag tayo po ay install ng operating system, same as the start up settings, nandun din po for enable sa debugging, bootlogging, low resolution video, and safe mode. So in the previous software such as Windows 98, si debugging option po ay kasama sa folder, nasa second lang po siya, nasa second location. Then in reading the code through, this technique is quite similar to the ACI technique, with the exception that it does not rely on bystander. The key role here is very simple. When the programmer finds himself in a complete darkness to the slightest idea of what's going on within the program, he must print the code and leave his terminal, then go to the cafeteria. So sa case po natin, ang ginagawa natin, kapag hindi natin pag hindi mag-run si code, kung wala tayong mapagtanungan ng kapwa programmer or IT practitioner, ang pinaka last resort na po natin is YouTube or sa tutorial. So the debugger, when other checking tool fails to detect the problem, then it turns to be the debugger's turn. The debugger allows working through the code line by line and find out what's going on. Wherein the questions where and why, it allows working interactively, controlling the execution of the program, stopping various times, inspect variables, changing code flow while it's running. In order to make use of the debugger, a program must be compiled with the debugging information inserted. This information is provided by debugging symbols included by the compiler in the binaries. So sa atin, ang simplest way ni debugger, kapag nag-aano tayo ng mga memory devices, yung scan, kinakount na siya as debugger. So in debugging symbols, describe where functions and variables are stored in the memory. In an executable with debugging symbols, it can run it can run a normal program, although it's might be slower. An important feature of the debugger is the possibility of set breakpoints. Breakpoints stop the program execution on the demand. The program runs normally until the execute program and the piece of the code are the same address, of the breakpoint. At that point, it drops back into the debugger to look at variables or continue stepping through the code. Breakpoints are fundamental interactive debugging and accordingly have options associated with them. They can set up a specific line number at the beginning of a function and specific address or conditionally. So that ends my report. Thank you po.
Don't close your presentation. Okay, so for any software project, no, debugging is considered to be an essential yet demanding task. No? Developer must enter a continuous cycle of testing, debugging, and deploying to make sure their product is up to date and functioning correctly across all targeted platforms. Usually, this is how the process goes. So once the developer finalizes a program's code base for a product, this code base is sent to a tester. Then tester run the code base against well-defined input test to check if the program gives the expected outputs. And during the testing, the testers observe the relationship between the input and output of the program. If one of the test cases produce the wrong results, the test reports that back to the original developers. A program malfunctions means that the code base contains a bug. So based on Mr. Melvin mentioned, but that doesn't give us any further information about the location of that bug. In other words, testing reveals the presence and effects of errors, not the cause of errors. The developer must then go through a debugging process to identify the causes and fix the bugs causing them. Although there is no fixed procedure to fix all bugs, there are several techniques, of course, that can reduce your debugging effort. A significant part of this process is spent finding the location of the bug. So actually, the three most commonly used or three most known and used techniques, we have trace-based debugging, spectrum-based debugging, and delta debugging. So different techniques are better suited to different cases, and there is no precise best method. It all depends on the type of code base you're testing and your preferences. Nevertheless, it is suitable for developers to have knowledge of and experience with all of these approaches. Sometimes a combination of one or more of these approaches will lead you to the location of the bug. No? So for of course, so as I mentioned, there are a number of other strategies that can be used to help the developer locate bugs existing in the code. Because as a developer, we always remind ourselves of the few things. What are those? The bug may not be where you're looking for it. Sometimes when a developer looks for a bug, they spend a long time inspecting a specific section of the code just to find out all the bug is elsewhere. Another is looking at the problem for another angle gives a different perspective. And by pointing out the parts of the code that are bug-free, and we can reveal where the bug really is. Don't forget to inspect the input data and test details. Sometimes the test case may be broken. So it's always a good idea to go through it and make sure everything is on point. Once a bug has been identified, error must be corrected. In some cases, this can be trivial. At other times, it's going to be straightforward because developers must think thoroughly about how a specific fix is going to affect the remainder of the code or the remainder of the code. They need to ensure that the repair will not cause other parts of the code to break. No? Bugs that represent conceptual errors in the code are without a doubt that most difficult to fix. That's why developers must rethink not just the fix but also the logic of the program. Okay? So I think that's it for Sir Melvin presentation.